So because it was a monk's request, it's very hard to refuse. He said he'd scanned about 850 of my talks online. I thought, oh my goodness, is that so many talks online? And he said they couldn't find anything about this subject. It's amazing, 850 talks, and I haven't talked about this one subject. So he asked me can you please give a talk on listening? Which is an interesting thing, because when I'm talking, I can't be listening. That's why he hasn't found any of... No, it's only a joke. But it's such an important part of learning to live in harmony with other people, to listen. It's also an important part to understand oneself, to be able to listen. It's one of the things which is improved when one learns how to be mindful and really aware. And as that awareness gets stronger and stronger, one can listen much more attentively, more fully. One literally hears and understands more. And of course, then one learns how to listen to the world, rather than always talking back at the world. Therefore you get all your wisdom and understanding, and especially when you start to listen to yourself and listen to your mind. And that's where you really get into fun stuff. So that's a little preview about what listening can do. But we start in the ordinary ways of learning how to listen to each other. You know that whenever we keep talking, we get into arguments, but when we listen, we become wise. So which one do you really want to do? Do you want to be a talker or a listener, someone who's really wise? It's just part of our training as monks that we learn how to sit still for hours without talking at all. And I remember when I first came to Australia, having had 9 years of training, of learning how to sit quietly, and being number 2 monk, and the monk who was my senior, he would give all the talks on a Friday night. I would just sit there. Even afterwards, when people would ask questions, they'd ask questions of him, and I would just sit there. And after about 4 or 5 months, he went to Thailand to have a break, so I had to give the talk. And as soon as I started speaking, this young girl, maybe 13 or 14, came up to me and said, "That's amazing. You can talk. I thought you were brain damaged." That's what she said. Because just because I didn't talk, she thought I was somehow mentally deficient. Isn't it a shame that we don't respect silence, that we only respect talking? And it's one of the reasons why we aren't good listeners, but we're good talkers, because we have developed the ability to express ourselves very much. We learn that in school. We learn that in many other parts of life, to express, to present, to convey our feelings to others. But can we be someone who receives what others convey to us? Can we really listen? And you should know that we miss so much in life when we're too busy talking and not listening. And it's because of our training. What you do here before the talk starts, that degree of meditation, is where you learn how to listen very, very deeply. A long time ago, I recognized that, and I called it total listening, because you recognize that when somebody is talking to you, so often you're only half listening, and probably you're paying more attention to the conversation which is going on inside of you, that inner chatter. So much so that you really don't pick up what other people are trying to tell you. You know, the old thing about your husband, your wife saying, and they start to talk to you, and you start thinking, here they go again. Why do they keep saying the same old thing? I've had enough of this. Don't they know that I'm tired too? I don't want to need this. I don't need this now. And already, just they've only started, and you've already got a conversation going on between your ears, which you're paying much more attention to than what they're saying. You can't listen. Or people are fantasizing or dreaming. I remember somebody passed me a copy of Time magazine many years ago, where they did some research that people who listen to public talks, they found out 95% of them are thinking sexual fantasies rather than listening to the speaker. I hope that's not going on here.